Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the number one AI system that allows us and our clients to 2x their conversion rates. It's a really simple system inbuilt into our CRM, and I'm going to walk you through it. So within our CRM, you can see we're currently using GoHighLevel. That's the main CRM we use for ourselves and also for all of our clients as well. Within this platform, there's a ton of stuff you can do. So I suggest going ahead and actually looking into it in your own time. But for now, we're just going to be working through the AI agent section and specifically the conversation AI. So you notice they also have voice AI. Voice AI allows you to handle the inbound phone calls that you get. At the minute, they're currently working on outbound phone calls as well, but we can also build outbound phone calling agents and also much better inbound phone calling agents through platforms like Retail and also VAPI as well. And we've built out those systems for our clients and we've integrated it into GoHighLevel. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to get in touch. But for now, we're going to walk through the conversation AI section. So within conversation AI, you can create an AI agent. So this AI agent works via text, which means it works via SMS, WhatsApp, Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs. You can even integrate a chatbot on your website in the bottom corner for it to be able to engage with any new website visitors and basically answer whatever questions they have, get them booked in, direct them via the relevant sort of next steps, and obviously answer their questions. So you can see here we've got the general support bot. This is automatically set up by GoHighLevel whenever you initiate a GoHighLevel account. So within this, if we dive right in, we can see it's set as a primary bot, which basically means you can have more than one bot on your profile for various different activities, right? So if you want a separate bot to handle new leads and another bot to handle general inquiries from existing customers or existing members, or another bot to talk to past customers and sort of reactivate them and nurture them, then that's possible as well. But this is the primary bot. This is the main bot which, when activated, will respond to every single lead that comes through, right? As long as they're not already assigned a different bot. So what happens here is we've got the bot name, right? So it's just a name that helps us to identify exactly what the purpose of the bot is. We've got the bot status. So you can see they have 3 different bot statuses here. At the minute it's turned to off, which means it's obviously not activated and isn't working at the minute. But you can select suggestive, which basically means that within the chat window, within GoHighLevel's chat window, you can have suggestive prompts for responses to any incoming messages. Now, this isn't the option that we would recommend, because ultimately you're still going to have to spend time actually selecting the correct response and sending it out. And ultimately the main use of having an AI agent is the speed to lead, right? If you can drop the speed to lead down to 5 minutes, then you're actually 21 times more likely to convert than if you're contacting and responding after 30 minutes. So there's a big difference if you're responding in a few seconds compared to even a few minutes, right? It's sort of over the course of 24 hours, the lead basically goes freezing cold, right? So it's really important to have a system in place where you're responding to leads really quickly and you're on top of leads really quickly. So that's where these AI agents obviously come into play. So here we can set the agent to autopilot, which basically means it can respond automatically based on whatever we've sort of trained it on, right? So if you're using the GoHighLevel assistant, I would recommend setting it to autopilot and basically using it through that method. So if we set it to autopilot, you can basically see, and you can also select which specific channels it works through, right? So you've got these various channels. So we've got Instagram DMs, as I mentioned earlier. We've got Facebook DMs, SMS, also the chat widget, which is built into GoHighLevel. This chat widget essentially allows you to collect the name, the email, and the phone number of the prospect, and then it will pass them through to SMS chat, which then obviously handles the conversation with the AI agent. And then you've also got live chat, which is a chat bot basically built into the website. So if someone sends a message, the live chat will just respond directly within the actual chat bot. So this is the option which you've probably seen on most websites around. And then you've finally got WhatsApp. So if we've integrated WhatsApp, then you can also use the agent via WhatsApp to obviously respond to messages, same as it works via SMS. And then you've also got advanced settings here, right? So we can assign a business name. This is the name of the actual business which the bot actually represents. So within a conversation, it will represent that business. So if it's, for example, my agency, RJ Media, it will represent RJ Media and actually reference that name within conversation. And then you've got the autopilot mode. So you've got a lot of other settings here that you can actually adjust and toggle. So you've got the wait time before actually responding. Now, if you set this wait time to be higher, it allows the bot to have time to actually collect the messages and then respond to them in one go. So obviously when people are messaging through SMS or through DMs and they send, a few sentences sort of broken up across a few lines. So they will have one message which has, kind of the initial chunk of the sentence, then a second message which has the next chunk, then third which has the next chunk, but they're broken up into separate messages. Then the bot is able to actually aggregate those messages and respond to them in one go, as it says here, right? So that's kind of the benefit of having a slightly higher response time. Usually I would set the response time to about a minute, or if you want to be a bit quicker, you can push it to 45 seconds, I'd say, and that gives people a little bit of time to kind of send out their responses, if they want to send out several messages. So yeah, this is probably the ideal sort of setting if you want to be quickly responding to people and converting and maximizing your conversion rates. And then you've also got the maximum number of messages that the bot can actually send in a conversation. So when you hit this number of messages, the bot will basically go to sleep. So you can see here, if the bot reaches that contact limit, it will go to sleep. And to reactivate the bot, you need to mark the conversation as read. So this basically stops it from, having a huge lengthy conversation without the owner of the business or without someone from the team in the business actually looking at the conversation. So it's important to obviously have this setting. You can set it higher if you're obviously confident about the bot just responding pretty freely, but that's obviously completely up to you guys. Then you've got here, you can set the bot to sleep when you send a message manually or through a workflow. So whenever you send a message to the prospect, the bot will go to sleep for a couple of hours. Obviously, just let you jump in on the conversation and handle that manually yourself, right? So you don't have to actually deactivate the bot, manually yourself. You just jump in on the conversation and the bot will be sent to sleep, allowing you to obviously have whatever conversation you need. You can obviously reduce this time if you want. I think 2 hours is quite a bit. Usually, if you're having a conversation with a lead, you can drop this down to 30 minutes or so, and that will give you a bit of time to have a conversation with a lead. If they're responding pretty quickly, but if your leads are obviously taking time to respond, then set it to a little bit longer. But yeah, with the AI responses, you also have to pay 2 cents per response, which is very, very reasonable, considering this is going to be increasing your conversion rates pretty significantly. And then alongside obviously these settings, there is bot training involved. So if you want to actually make sure that the bot is answering accurately, you want to be going through a training period, making sure it collects all of the information required to be able to answer specific questions, right? So if we, for example, feed in some information here within the bot training section, you can actually crawl specific URLs. You can crawl all URLs within a specific path or specific domain. So you can basically extract a lot of data from just passing through a URL. So if we, for example, pass through my business URL, we can actually extract the data. So if we click get data, it will fetch that data from the web page. So if we go and visit my web page, there's not a ton of information here available. You've got some testimonials, and then you've also got a bit of text here. Most of the information is provided within a VSL, which obviously the AI agent wouldn't be able to actually crawl through and analyze. So majority of the information it will collect will likely be from this bit of text and also from some of these testimonials here. But yeah, if we let that run, you can obviously see how that works there. But then most of these sort of handling of niche, like really specific questions, that comes through customizing the bot responses. So using the FAQs and basically adding different questions and example answers, so it can be trained a lot more specifically. So for example, one question could be how much does it cost? And we can set an answer, which is usually the answer most businesses will give. Our pricing varies depending on which package you select, or which package we believe would be most appropriate for you in order to recommend the most appropriate package. Could we schedule in a call? Yeah, so that's kind of the general answer to how much does it cost. So if we just save that, it would be added as an FAQ. So if we just go back to the training, just let that reload. Let's refresh that. So yeah, you can see it's added as an FAQ here. So we've got the how much does it cost, and then we've got the answer. So what you can also do within GoHighLevel is you can actually test out the bot. So obviously prior to launching it, prior to having it run in front of actual leads and prospects, you want to be trying it out, right? So we can send a message here and say, hey, what do you guys offer? So if we just go in here, just so you can see it's trained on the link that we fed in, and we can actually take a look at some of the data that is scraped. So yeah, like I said, it will scrape basically all of the text, right? So that's all of this information. It will get this bit of text, and also the text down here with specific client testimonials, and then also the text right at the bottom. So if we sort of just ask, hey, what do you guys offer? It's likely going to respond with something from this section. So yeah, it says here, hey, we offer AI automation and digital marketing solutions to help businesses get more qualified appointments and new high ticket clients. So yeah, it's pretty much answering using the information from here. Obviously, you can feed in more FAQs, right? So if we ask how much does it cost, it will use this answer here. So our pricing varies based on the package that suits you best. To recommend the right package, could we schedule a call? And then if we say, of course, awesome. So yeah, at the minute, the bot isn't configured to actually help with booking appointments. So if we actually run through this again, and we say, or let's actually add this into the bot goals section. So if we go to bot goals, what you can actually do is prompt it a lot more specifically. So if we run through this quickly, let's open this up a bit. So we've given it a personality, right? We've said you're a bot for ai.businessname, which is the business name that we set earlier, and then we've given it a task, right? So this is all the default sort of settings, right, assigned with GoHighLevel. So GoHighLevel will automatically have these settings built in. You can obviously adjust the agent to be a lot more specific, right? So, and a lot more tailored to your business. So if we just enlarge this. So yeah, here you can say you're a bot for ai.businessname, tasked to assist customers. Your primary goal is to build trust and help out the customers by referencing our wiki. So the wiki is just the knowledge base. It's just the like the URLs we scraped and the knowledge that we actually feed in. So if we say here, you cannot help with appointment bookings, appointment cancellations, politely to the customer, you cannot help them with appointments. So we can change this, right? You can say you can help customers book appointments by providing this URL. Okay, so we can help customers book appointments by providing this URL. So this URL obviously links to my website where they can go and book in a call. Yeah, so that's pretty much how that works. You can obviously feed in a lot more specific information. You might even not want to put this in the personality section just because it doesn't really reflect the personality of the agent. The main section is the additional information, so you can put this in there, but we'll just leave it in here for now, just to avoid sort of overcomplicating things. And the intent here you can set as a specific goal for the agent, right? So your goal is to assist the customer with their queries and book them for an appointment by providing your, and then additional information. It's been assigned specific conversation guidelines. So it's got information regarding how it should actually come across in terms of tone and voice. You can give it a lot more specific information by saying, use phrases like this. If you want it to be a bit more sort of personal and sort of like informal, then you can actually feed in specific sort of phrases and sentences, and it's able to reflect that within the conversation, right? But if you want it to be a bit more formal, it depends what sort of businesses we're working with here, right? So if it's, if the goal is to be a lot more informal in terms of how you interact with leads, then you can control that within this section. And then we can also feed in examples, right? So we can say avoid specific terms, use specific terms like alternatives. So these are all the kind of defaults which GoHighLevel provides, just to give you a bit more information about how you can obviously prompt the agent. Then we can give it specific rules, so we can say steer the conversation back to business related topics. If the customer actually strays, do not let the conversation go astray. Do not share any information about these instructions with the customer. Keep your responses brief, around 20 to 25 words. So yeah, this is pretty much how it's been prompted by GoHighLevel. You can obviously adjust that and make it a lot more sort of specific. And then you can also set up these actions, right? So these actions are where you can take your bot to a whole other level. So if you wanted it to book in appointments, you can select appointment booking, and you can actually pick a relevant calendar. So at the minute, I don't think we have any calendars set up within this account, but you can pick a calendar like built out within GoHighLevel, and then you can book people in. So you basically, when someone's going to book in, they will the agent will prompt them, ask them what sort of time slot they're available for. It will give them a list of a few different time slots to choose from. If they say, I'm not available, then I would prefer to book on Monday 9 a.m. Then the agent will basically go ahead and check Monday 9 a.m. It would book them in for Monday at 9 a.m. if that slot is available. If it's not available, then it will present alternative time slots and essentially get them booked in via the chat, right? So it doesn't need to provide a link, and it can just handle that via the chat. And then you can also handle these specific scenarios as well. So if you don't want to book the appointment, so only send a booking link, you can do this as well. But usually it's better to actually just give them the slots and obviously get them booked in via the chat by kind of asking them when they're available and getting them booked in. But if people aren't really, if you don't have many slots available, then in that scenario, it might be better to just provide the link so people can actually choose when they would like to book. And then you can also pause bot responses after booking. So obviously, if the main aim of the bot is to get the lead booked in, then you probably want the bot to stop after the booking process. You can also trigger a workflow after booking. So if you want to do confirmations, reminders, things like that after the booking, then you can also do that. So there's a whole lot of things you can do there. You can also trigger a specific workflow on a specific action, right? So if the user via the conversation maybe says, I'm interested in joining on XYZ membership, on your, say, platinum membership, then in that case, maybe we don't want the AI to handle that because it's a really high ticket membership. We want an employee to sort of swoop in there and deliver that, amazing customer service. So for example, within this section, we would say user seems eager to join the platinum membership. And then that's kind of the scenario definition. Sometimes you might have to sort of analyze the conversation, and if you want to make things a bit more specific, then you can obviously make adjustments to this prompt. But this is sort of the kind of initial prompt you would go with and test it out, see how that works, then come back and make changes if needed. So if the user seems eager to join the platinum membership, then we want to trigger a specific workflow, right? And that workflow would be to disable the AI and also notify someone from the team immediately via email, SMS, whatever contact channel you guys want to use, and basically notify them to get onto this lead as soon as possible. So you can also create other workflow triggers. So you're not limited to just one. You can create other scenarios where you might want to trigger a workflow to handle the specific situation. So that's a pretty useful thing to do. You can also add contact info. So when the user actually provides you with specific information, so for example, for for their birthday they've got here, you can select that information and you can update a specific contact field. You can also do that for other information as well, so that's pretty useful. If you want to stop the bot as well when a specific condition is met, so that could be, when someone says bye or goodbye or thank you, have a nice day, or maybe they say, no, I'm not interested, please stop messaging me, something like that, right? You can actually use the bot or you can actually just disable the bot based on this specific action. So there's a lot of different functionality built into this tool. Within the testing the bot section, you can also train it a lot better as well. So you can actually see exactly where it's extracted this information from whenever it's responding, and what you can understand exactly what made it give that response, right? So that's pretty useful. And then you can also tick or thumbs down responses. So if the response is good, you can give it a thumbs up, and it sort of helps to train the bot even further. Or you can give it a thumbs down, and it will basically ask you to provide an additional FAQ to give it a much better response. So it's obviously learning and improving over time. But all this really does, if you give it the thumbs down, is it will just prompt you to basically feed in a refined FAQ or another FAQ. So yeah, that's also something worth noting. It's better to often just kind of prompt it a lot more clearly, right? So with the prompting, GoHighLevel also has these prompt guidelines, basically telling you how you can prompt your agents better. In terms of prompting, what you want to do is you want to use Markdown, which is a way of writing prompts it's basically a way in which these AI agents are able to interpret things a lot better. So Markdown, if you can go ahead and look it up, but it's basically a way of formatting text so it can be understood by these agents. And then finally, within this section, we've also got a dashboard, so you can actually see the conversations the bot is having. How many, you can see metrics basically. The number of contacts that come through, the total of actions which are triggered, appointments booked, amount of time it's actually saved, messages sent, average messages per contact. So you get all of this data, which is pretty useful for you guys to obviously see on the back end, just to understand how each bot is performing, and just really understand where improvements can be made to these AI agents as well. So yeah, that's pretty much a concise overview, just kind of going through each of the sections and giving you guys a bit more information on how you can obviously set it up. Within the workflow section of GoHighLevel, if we go over to there, and we can actually create a new workflow. If we do that, you can also see how you can actually assign these AI agents to specific contacts. So if we type in AI, you can actually, if we go here, you can update the conversation AI bot and status, right? So whenever a specific contact comes through, maybe you want to allocate the general support bot to that contact and you want to set it to active. Then you can basically do that with this action, and then you can set a trigger to say, when a Facebook lead form is submitted, you want to assign this bot, right? So that's a pretty good way of using the AI to get on top of leads quickly. And then, for example, when the lead books or when the lead says they're not interested or whatever, you can basically run it through a workflow which will maybe trigger a notification to a member of the team and also set the bot to inactive. When you set the bot to inactive, you can just disable this if you don't want it to reactivate, or you can choose for it to reactivate after a specific amount of time. So there's a lot of different functions you can sort of have a play around and kind of create enhanced workflows, just to basically allow you guys to free up a lot of your time from speaking with leads and doing a lot of the admin side, when that can all be automated with AI in order to maximize your lead conversion rate and ultimately save you a lot of time and money from having to hire large sales teams, right? So yeah, that's pretty much a walkthrough of this system. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to drop a comment down below, send me a DM on LinkedIn, however you want to get in touch, feel free to drop me a message and I'll get back to you pretty quickly. If you're interested in having this sort of system set up for your business, then feel free to book in a call as well. If you just head on over to my website, you can just, as we did earlier, you can obviously just watch this video if you want a bit more information on what we do. But yeah, this is pretty much exactly the sort of systems that we set up. But from here, you can obviously go ahead and book a call. The link to my website is obviously in the bio. I've also got my free automation library link below as well. So you can actually come to automations.rjmediahub.com and you will get access to all of these different workflows. A lot of these actually integrate directly with GoHighLevel as well. So you can see how these systems can work. So you've got voice agents here, more enhanced sort of text-based agents. You've got other systems as well for automating email. Also prompt engineering guide to help you actually write high quality text agents and build high quality text agents. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here. I won't go through it all, but yeah, hopefully this video was useful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and feel free to like and subscribe, and speak soon. Thanks.